Good night, guys. Everybody can hear me? Please type in the chat if you can. Okay, awesome. So thank you everybody for participating of our Sunday live prep session. First of all, before we start, I would like to do a moment of silence in honor of those that were injured and unfortunately lost their lives in the mass shooting in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. So let's do a moment of silence, please, before we start. All right, so let's start by the futures, as like we do every weekend. I'm gonna do a quick run through the futures, and if you guys have any tickers you want me to analyze for you, please just post on the Zoom chat, and I'll go through those after. So this is the S&P 500. We have a slight gap down on it. Friday, it bounced exactly at the levels posted by Kelly in the futures room, also our pivots. So everything is working as planned. I think I would expect a little push on Monday on the futures, maybe to here or the 50, and do something like this, like push and then go back down. I'm really interested in this trend line. This is the trend line we called last Sunday, and it's a 4-hour trend line from December 2018 on that drop, and we have the June, and we are getting closer to that trend line one more time. Now, are we gonna hold? I don't know, but I think that could be a magnetic point where we can go to. I really wanted this test of the trend line to be at around this 95 area, 95, 97, which is also a zone, a pivot zone I have. That would be very interesting. If we take, what time? Let me see, this is the entire week right here. So if we take the entire week together, we're probably gonna test it at this 12 line here, which is the monthly pivot, and that's what I'm looking for. Maybe a push higher this Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then another push back down. Now let's check the intraday, see what we can get of information on S&P. So it's trading below the daily main pivot, which is the 2936. If we can't push above it, we're gonna test this lower zone one more time, and that would be the key to hold, to avoid that trend line retest. So this area, the 2912, 2916 is gonna be the key support zone on ES, and the key resistance is gonna be this 2936 and 2942. So we're gonna see how it goes tomorrow. Okay, let's check. Natural gas. So natural gas had a big gap down, very big actually, right on that pivot zone right here. So far it bounced from there. So that's gonna be interesting. I'll be careful if you take a long position from here, but you had to play futures to do that. If it opens around this area and you take a long position, just watch for a retest of this area here, because it can just do another leg down. Okay, we are very close from that yearly pivot. So I'll be careful with long positions. If you decide to take new long positions on new gas and natural gas, make sure you take some partials on the way and have your stop on the rest at break even to avoid another meltdown like this, right? So far, natural gas have been following very closely our stronger zones, which was this here and this here. Somebody in the chat asked me if about taking a long position new gas right here, and I said I wouldn't do it because this is a strong resistance. Probably want to wait a pullback to do it. I don't know if they got the position, but we couldn't break that resistance, which has been strong. That zone has been strong for all this way that it was down at these levels. Let me stand so you guys can see. All here. This is a very, very important area. So let's see if we can get that push up. If in the morning we are here, and I will consider a short position on U gas or a long on D gas. UNG puts is this area I'm going to be watching for that. Now, if it goes back down, of course, take partials because this is going to be in play. This zone here is a new zone. We're just testing right now. This is the quarterly and the monthly pivots, so it's an important zone. But if we break this, I would not be surprised if we that way we test the yearly pivot. Now let's see intraday natural gas real quick, just so we know where we are positioning in the week. Let me actually add. No, it's gonna take some time. I was gonna add. Let me see if I can do it. I think I have already prepared. I think I don't have all the. No, I do have all the weekly pivots. I just wanted to have the weekly main. Okay, so you guys can see bounce right off there once on this drop, then it tried again and bounce one more time, did a higher low and push. So we'll be watching this push here, see if we can push, and I would not be surprised if once we test this, it's gonna go back down. Do something like this. Now what we do here is gonna be key. Maybe we do a higher low at around this area here. I don't know, we'll see. Let me actually get this out of the way of this drawing. So we'll see if we can get a higher low around this area, which is the 2.096. Let me check real quick one thing. Okay. So that would be natural gas. The main daily is at 214 and the weekly is at 2.1840. So we are on the bearish side for the day and the week. The monthly we have been on bearish side for a while. The monthly bearish was right here on last month, and this is the bearish. Once we pushed through and couldn't hold, that was the bearish sign for the month. The quarterly is around here. So we're bearish on every single time frame. And the yearly, I think, is way up here, right here, 3.471. So let's keep an eye on those zones on natural gas. Let's check oil. A slight gap down. No, we actually gap up a little bit, gap up, sold off a little bit, bounce right off this main yearly. So this is the main yearly pivot right here. This is a very strong support zone. You see here we have that big push down on those news and report this last week. Then we push through and reclaim that. Now we are back testing and we need to hold. We need to hold that in order to push through this zone here, which is going to be interesting to see. Now, if we can hold here by the morning, I may take a UWT position or a long oil USO put, call, I'm sorry, a call on USO right here. And stop loss would have to be below this wicks here, below the pivot zone. Now let's check. Now if we, in the morning, we gap up all the way here, I'll be careful with long positions. Now, CL, let's see real quick intraday. See, we are trying to hold above the day main zone. So as of right now, we are on bullish territory for the day, which can change real quick, but so far, bullish for the day. Where's my chart? Where are you? Right there. The weekly main is 55.87, which is going to be right around this rejection zone on Friday. So you had to be careful with that push to this zone here. It's going to be interesting to see if we can hold and push more. Let's check gold. Gold is having a little fight with this pivot here. What is this level? 1458. So it's having a little fight with this 1458. As you guys can see, this is a 4-hour chart, and we are channeling between this pivot and this pivot. So we're doing a little bit like this. Let me draw the entire thing. So doing a little bit like this, which usually ends up to being like this, right? So this is what they call the bull flag, right? So we have the pole, which is right here, and we are doing that channeling inside this this zone. So we will see if for bullish, a bigger bullish move, we need to break above it, and for a rejection of this pattern, we need to break below this 1445.30. Now let me change this so I can get to the top side. Okay, so the top side is 1458.80. We need to break above and hold 1440, 1458.80 to test these higher zones here, and a break below to negate this pattern and test this bottom zone one more time right here, 1430, 1434. So you can play JNUG calls and puts, shorts JNUG, long JDST. So you have many options on how to play gold. If you trade futures, you can just grab a contract and gold. Let's check. I just want to check the weekly main pivot so we have an idea on how it's looking. Yes, look at, you see the difference. The weekly main pivot is at 1442. So we are bullish until we break below this pivot here for the week, right? Right now it's below the daily. It's trying to fight it, but it looked like the VWAP is giving a little bit of trouble for it. Now, as you guys know, I don't trade off indicators. I have them here. Yes, pivot points can be considered an indicator, but is one of the only indicators that are not lagging indicators. They are ahead of the price action. So we need to break above this 1452.30, and then we can have that retest over there. If you check, you may have here, I'm trying to grab my tool, maybe a little downtrend still. So that's something to keep an eye on it. So we need to negate this downtrend and push through the pivot. Now let me see one thing. Just wanna see if we have any uptrend. Now, would you do this or would you do this, right? So that's something to keep an eye on it. Remember, bullish for the day above 1452. So if we push 1452 and hold, most likely we're going to retest this 1458. Now, this weekly pivot from last week gave a lot of price action on it. You see here, test, push, retest, push, fail, back test, come down. All this indicates that is a strong level to watch, and that's going to be the 1454.40. So keep an eye on, maybe keep an eye on this 1452 and 1454 as a resistance zone, and if we break that, then we push, right? Okay. I think for futures, that's it. If you guys want any futures, then let me know. Let's start with the stocks, right? Let me remove this here. Remove this. Now let's check. Let's check Walmart. Now we had that sad situation in El Paso on the Walmart, so I'm not sure how it's gonna affect the stock on Monday. So I'm gonna stay strictly to the technicals on this one. Okay. So we bounced right off the yearly pivot at 108.16 Friday, and we pushed through. Now the question is, can we push above this area here, which is the 10.10.18, 10.10.32? I actually would even widen it up a little bit. Let's include this level as well. Now this is supposed to be a gray light line, but as you guys know, I can't change on Zoom, so I had to make a note to remind me to change it after we do the stream. So the zone will be, this will be the key resistance zone on this week on Walmart. And what, I don't know how they affect, but if we don't have, even if we didn't have the news, this looks like a bear flag to me. Maybe a retest around here, and then we go back down. We have dividends on the 8th. As you guys can see, this is a very indecisive area. We found a lot of buyers here, but we also find sellers here. So yes, this is a resistance zone, and I'll be watching for it. Break above it, go long to the next zone, which is 1166, 1183. If we can break it, I'm gonna go short with partials at 108. And if it breaks this pivot, the yearly pivot, then I'm gonna take another partial at 106.50. So there is more downside than upside on Walmart at the moment. It did a nice head and shoulders on the 4-hour. Okay. We have earnings on the 15th, which is in about 2 weeks. Is not this Thursday, but the next one. So let's see what we can expect on the week. Monday, you can see this is the resistance zone we'll be looking for. It's the same one as this one. Push for a break to hold. I'm gonna take a short position in Walmart. Partials at 109, then 108, right here, 108.18, 108.61, and then see if I can get that 106.50, and I mean that 108.16. Let me mark that 108.16, which is my yearly pivot. Right there. So yeah, this is the key the key support is going to be 108.16, 108.61, and the key resistance is going to be 110.32, 110.53. So you can make nice gains between those two zones. I'm checking NVDA now. So NVIDIA bounced right off this 159.25 and is retesting this 161.61. So I am still bearish on NVIDIA. This is the 50-day moving average. I will not be surprised if we go there and test it. Maybe this is what we have right now from here to here. But maybe we can get a retest on the quarterly pivot and then push back down so we can reset for earnings. That would be a nice reset into earnings if we can get to the 155, 156 area. But I'll be watching this zone here and break and hold to push through, and the pivot, which is the, let me mark. So this will be the key zones to watch on NVIDIA. The main weekly is at 165.50, which is also a previous level. As you guys can see, I have this blue line marked from the past. So that's also going to be interesting. Now, if the earnings catalyst, that's going to be on the 15th, which I believe is the same day as Walmart, is next Thursday, not this one, but the next one. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can get a sell-off this week and then run into earnings next week. So we're still bearish until it breaks above this area. And we can see, I would love to grab it at 155 on this zone here. That would be the ideal for a run into earnings next week. So the main tape pivots around here. If we see a break and hold of 161.90, 161.49, then expect a push to that key resistance. So you can get a long from here to here is about $3 to 50 depending on where you enter, and that's a lot of a very nice movement over there. So if you take a long on the break and hold of this, take a partial, and then if we break and hold, then the 165.50 is going to be the next. And if we can't push, most likely going to retest maybe this 162.40, do a higher low here, and try it again. And if we lose this 161's area right here, we're probably gonna go and retest the 159.25 again. And if we lose that, then we're gonna go to this area that I'm waiting for. So there's a lot of range up and down on NVIDIA. We can make a lot of gains up and down. So that's a very good thing. That's what we're always looking for, is range and a nice risk reward both ways. ABBV. So those three first is picks from Short Hammer that I'm going through for you guys. He always posts his on the preparation room. Don't forget to always check his videos and charts. It gives a lot of good plays in there. Don't miss those gains, guys. There's a lot of good information. The Amazon was a perfect play that he posted on the prep room. It was even in a video format, I believe, which is amazing. Okay, so I am bearish on ABBV as long as we stay in over this zone here. So if we push through and can't hold, I'm going to look into a short position to the 63.58 most likely. And if you can hold, you can expect a test of 67.80, 68.17. Let me see if there is anybody new on the... Is there anybody that this is the first time you guys watch live the stream? If there is anybody that is the first time, please type in the chat room. Oh, nice. So 12 Matt, this is how we play pivots and how we prepare. What we are looking for is the best risk reward we can get. We don't settle for anything in between. We always grab things on their extremes. This way we avoid being a lot of to getting out of all of that choppiness that we have in the market, and we have a very nice risk reward. For example, 65.77, 66.36 is our main resistance zone at the moment, right? So if you are short bias on this, what are you looking for, right? You're looking for a push into that zone, and that you can use it as a stop loss and your entry at the same time. So let's say it pushes to here at 66.24 and I get in short. My stop loss is going to be right above this 66.36 top of my zone. If we break and hold that zone, then I'm going to be out. How that's a good thing, right? Well, it's a good thing because I am risking about 20 cents to make potentially $3, right? My first partial will always be on the next pivot zone, pivot level, which will be the 65.77. So I will enter short around here, stop loss right above it, first partial at the 65.77. My break even stop is going to be on the rest of my position, and I'm going to try to ride down to the next pivot zone, right? And that's how we do it. We try to avoid that craziness in the market, up and down, and you get chopped out of your longs and shorts, right? So that's how we do it here. If you're looking for a long, what are you looking for? Either you're looking for a dip to this zone here, or you're looking for a break and hold of this strong resistance. If you get along, let's say breaks like this, oops, wrong two. Let's say breaks above it, and then I will not, I personally don't play breakouts and breakdowns. So what I will do, one second. What I will do would be get a retest, and once it holds, I'll get my long and taking partials on the way. Stop loss, it's going to be right below that 66.36. You can maybe give a little bit of room, put a 66.05. If you like to trade whole numbers, you can put a little below the whole number, right? One more thing is that, let's say we have this test here. Let's say you're long bias. I just want to give another example on how to use the zones, right? So let's say you're long bias, we have this push here, and then we fail. Since you're long, you're not going to get into short. But when we test here, 65.77, we hold. Then you get your, let's say you get your zone, your entry here near the 65.77. Your stop loss, we're going to be below that, let's say 65.54. Give it a little bit of room. You're risking 20 cents to make potentially another $3 to the upside. Now you have to take a partial on that 66.36 in case it doesn't break it again, just like it did it the first time, and put your stop loss at break even on the rest of your position. And playing like that, you're gonna have very small losses and big wins, and that's the main goal that we have here. I hope that helps clarifying a little bit when I said resistance zone and support zone and break and hold and stuff like that. Tomorrow main pivots 65.45. And okay, so we're going to look into that, right? If we break and hold this 65.40, then we're going to test that key resistance, and that's where we want to take have our eyes on it, right? If you like to get quick scalps, if we hold this, it may be a nice long to this zone here. So it's about 40-50 cents. So it's up to you how you play. Just use that information to find your plays. You don't need to, I will never grab anything in between. That's what I do. If something is breaking out with strong push, I will never grab it, even if it's around here. Most likely if it's here, I will never grab for sure. So that's how I do it. I don't grab anything in between to avoid to be into that roller coaster that we have most of the times in the market, where the market makers always trying to take off our money. So you just have to put yourself in the best position to succeed, right? All right. So let's go into the next one. PINS, P-I-N-S. As you guys know, it beat earnings. I think it was Thursday or Friday. It was on the 1st. So that was Thursday. It was after? Yeah, after market Thursday, beat earnings. It had this amazing push. Couldn't hold the pivot zone. You see, this is. So let's say you were long on pins from before earnings or at the open. You have to take a partials on these pivots, right? Look what happens. If you think things are going to the moon, yes, they can. So you take partials. Take a partial here, take a partial here. You went back down. You already into profits. You didn't give back most of your profits because you took partials on the high levels. And if it breaks and it goes, then it just take another partial, right? Just take another partial at 36.55. Just trying to maximize those gains. Now look at this. This is the, what I always say that I love to do it, is that short overextended into strong resistance. So push through. This is, I must say, this is maybe the one and only setup I always look for, long and short. So I'm always waiting for a push through, can't hold, retest, and fail. So that's the pattern that I love to short, and I love to long if you make it inverse. It's a push through, can't hold, retest, fail. So let me say, let's say this is the support. Let's do like this. Let's do a minus. So let's say this is actually was a short, right? Just want to give you the example on the short, on the long side, what I'm looking for. Still loading. Okay. So this is the same, that super strong zone right there. For long, what I'm looking for, break, push through, retest, can't stay under, and then I go long. It's the same pattern over and over again. There is no need to complicate. There are 300,000 patterns out there. Just pick 1, 2, 3, 4 that you really like to do it and stick with it. There is no need to trade everything you see. So let's go back to pings. All right. Let me get my hand. Okay, so pins is on bullish territory for the week. It's slightly closed at the daily pivot. So we can consider still bullish for tomorrow until it's under that 30, you see, 33.52, 33.69. If we stay above that, we're still bullish for today. Now the question is, can we push through this zone again? So if I'm looking for a deep buy, I'll most likely be watching this down zone here. If I can get it. Sometimes you don't get it, but you still have to plan for it. So when it gets there, you're ready. Your mind's already on the same page as your plan. So you just react. You don't need to think what I'm gonna do is right there. No, you already know it's there. Just do it. Let's go. If it stop you out, then that's fine. Your stop is gonna be very minimal and compared to the potential gain. So this lower zone here is 31.99, 32.24. If we can get a dip buy here, I'll keep an eye very close for a long position. Partial at 32.88 and another partial at 33.50, and then we can test again that that strong zone. But let's say we do a little gap up, we really want to hold above it. If we have a slight gap up on this, I don't know on usual days how it gaps, if it gaps too much. This is an unusual day, so it gapped a lot. But on a usual day, I don't know if it gaps too much. So let's say you give a slight gap up. We want to hold the back test to this zone. If it does hold the back test, I'm probably going to take another long position over here and see if we can push through or at least retest the top of the zone one more time. Now remember, from here to here is a 40 cents, 50 cents. So you can still make some profit here. Maybe take a partial. I don't know if it's that's how you play. How big is your size? But let's say you take a partial, keep the rest at break even. Maybe even put a stop loss at maybe around 33.30, 33.28, and see if we can push and test that 34, 35 zone. This is going to be a very strong resistance right here. What I'm going to do is going to make it shorter. Let's divide this in two right here, and this one here. So we're breaking up in two zones. We have the strong support, strong resistance. Last line of defense is going to be this one here. Now, if you break this one, that's can get a little bit nasty. So be careful with your longs. We may get to 30.61. Now, if you're short, that's good for you. If you're short, that a break of this is going to be great for you. So that would be the plan on pins. Let's check APHA. So the entire cannabis sector gave a little run on APHA earnings Friday. So we need to see how we hold. The 697 is very important line. Okay. So we can already see very clear we have our strong and key support around here. 697, 703. That's going to be the main day level, main day zone for APHA. If we break that, then we're going to retest this. That is going to be the last line of defense, which is 656, 660. This is the daily 50, which is a 663. So this confirms as going to be the last line of defense. We want it to stay above it. The key resistance to break, if we hold this, is going to be that previous high. And the pivot zone that is strong is 7.8, 7.82. Let's check ACB. ACB is another cannabis stock. You have a very nice recovery. Now we need to hold the back test to this 620. So if we have a back test, it needs to hold 620 right here. Do like this, and then we can go to the 653, and then to 675 will be the next. The main yearly pivot is at 718, and that will be, if we get there, our most important resistance zone. So if you are long and we get there, keep your eye on it. The main monthly is at 676. Let me check. Let me change. I just want to give you very exact numbers. Let's put 50. So 674 is the main monthly pivot, which you also had that quarterly pivot. You see here how it reacts. Very nice. You hold, push, broke, retest, and couldn't hold. So this 674, 676 little zone is going to be also important. But one step at a time, we need to hold it above the 620 and push for more. So main area for tomorrow, it's going to be 620, 623 right here. And let's keep an eye on it and see if we can push. It would be nice if we can just push right to that 650, 652, 656 is going to be the next. Now, if you want to take a short break and hold under this, or push to 650 would be better. Even better if we can get to 674. But wait for the confirmation. If you just decide to take it, just keep it tight, just like the way I explain it. Let's check Microsoft. So we bounce off one more time of this key pivot zone, 135.61, 136.15. Now I don't know why everything to me looks like a bear flag this week. Oh man, we're gonna enter a very strong resistance, which is the 137.54, 130. Let me see, 137.83. So this is going to be the key resistance for Microsoft. So are you interested in long or short on this? For me, it's a short until we break and hold of this zone here. So if we push and we can't break to that pattern that we love, I'm going to look into a short. Partial at 136.84, and then see if we can break this. Take another partial here, of course, and see if we can break it under and look for that 134, 132, all this zone here will be the next target. If we break and hold, we have another resistance at 138.51, and from there we have a little bit more room to go to that 140, 141. Yeah, around here, the 139.80 to 141 will be the next if we break this. So you at first you have very small range to the upside, but once you break this, we have more. If you're looking for long, I would be more comfortable if we can get a setup around the top of the zone, 136.15, or a hold of the main intraday, which is 136.87. Take a long and take some partials on those zones. And check MYGN. Okay, so look at this overextended situation right here. I believe we have very good news. We post this on the chat during the week. Okay, so some good news on it. That's cool. Upgrades, settlement, some with yeah. So it has some very good news. So it has some catalyst, but we are looking for a techno setup. So right now I'm looking for, this is my key level right here, the 47.83. As you guys can see, it kind of did that setup we're looking for already Friday. Push through, did that back test here and couldn't hold, but we ran out of time. So let's see if we can get a setup Monday. We still have to be careful when you're shorting this, right? So if you take a short, you have to take a partial at this near this very strong support. So you have about $1 room from there to here. If you're short bias and you take that short setup, this is the key support you need to look for. Once we break this, we have way more room to the downside, about $2. And if most likely retest the yearly pivot. Yeah. I don't have it over here because of TOS have issues with that, but 4407. I'll put 09 because my hand is not so. 4407. I'm trying, guys. That's the problem about being perfectionist. You can't accept 1 cent to be off. Let me change my tool. 4407. Yeah, I'm not going to get my 07, but let's say it's 4406. So if we break this, most likely we're going to get this test of this zone here. So that's about $2, $2.50 down there from this zone. If you got from here, is about $4, which is a very good gain. So if you're short bias, what you're looking for is a fail to hold above this pivot, or let's say if gap down, let's say we gap down this because we had this a little bit like this. Let's say for any reason we gap down, we're looking for a push to here and then a fail. Now, if we just open in between, you need to be careful, keep it tight, keep your stop loss, it has to be above over here. If you're looking for a short, I would not take a long at this level here if we're pushing, only if we push and do that setup and then we go. And it has a lot of range up and down, but more range to the downside. Now, remember, we are very close at that 50 mark. So we have to see if everybody's looking for that 50. So just keep it tight and let the stock do its thing. And then you strike. There's no need to be the first. J&J, thanks Looking Capital. It said that it had news. It had news at Friday after hours that it wants. There is not going to be a talk lawsuit. Okay. So that's going to be a rough analysis. It's probably gonna, let's see where is ES right now real quick. It's still slightly down, no direction, -4. So you have the pivot at 132.22. Let me mark that. So that's the most important pivot we have on our chart, which is the 132.22 is our yearly main pivot. That's the strongest pivot we have on the board. I'll be more comfortable if we can gap up above that. So let's say we gap up above. What we're looking for is a retest. I want to retest and then to go long to 133.50. If we gap up. If we don't gap up, I'm most likely going to want a back test to this area here. 130.77, 131.13. If we don't gap up, look for a deep buy in this zone to hold, and then we go long, taking partials at this 131.62 level. And this very important pivot, which is the 132.22. Once we break above that, we have more range to the upside. Just keep it tight while you are under that pivot. Is looking, it was already looking bullish. It was doing higher lows. Most likely this was going to be a lower high for something like this. Right. And then which could also could be a bear flag, but with the catalyst, maybe it just go now, right? It just got saved by the bell. But keep an eye. This is the key support. This is the key resistance. Let me mark. Key resistance right here. And we have some congestion in between. So keep an eye on that. Long scenarios are those if we gap up and we can't hold. So gap up, oops, change again. Gap up, can't hold this pivot back test. I'll take a put and see if we can go around over here. Partials has to be on the 131.61 and see if we can get more downside. Same thing if we gap up, push. If we push above this one and can't hold, there's also even a better entry for short. And see if we can test that 132.22, the deep buy we want. Partial there, people are going to be looking, algos will be looking, everybody's going to be looking for that deep buy. So partial, 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 and see where it can go. OSTK. All right. Okay, so we have earnings on the 8th. That's going to be interesting. Thursday. Thursday after market close. So we held pretty well this over here. This. Okay. There you go. So we held pretty well this little zone here and we push. Now the key resistance is going to be this one. 2195, 2168. Probably going to go retest that tomorrow. Where is it? Right here. So this is going to be the key resistance. And this is the key support. Okay. So last line of defense is going to be 1953. Key support is 2012, 2040. The main day zone tomorrow is 2090. We are above it, so we want to have a chance to buy. So we want to see that dip over there so we can come and retest this 2167, 2195. That's where we're going to take a short. And I mean, not a short, sorry, a partial, and see if we can do something like this. Consolidate above this bottom of the zone, push, come here and then push more. Yeah. Looks good. The 2421 is going to be the key resistance. I mean, the higher tough resistance, that's going to be very tough. So it's kind of look like a bull flag. It looks like a bull flag on the 4 hours. So yeah, so we're looking for longs until we break this, right? Last line of defense. If you want to have a long, more room stop loss, more loose, then that would be under this line here, which is 1950. No. Checking Amazon. Everything has the same setup. Everything has that same below key resistance setup. Yeah. Amazon is below that 50. Wow. So we test the 50 on the daily chart and then sold off. I think Short Hammer mentioned that on his video. Probably gonna hear something like, you should have watched my video better. But that's how it is. The money is there in the chat. We just had to look for it. He did call that. Great job. So yeah, there's gonna be, it's gonna be a wide area, about 11 bucks. But the key that I'll be looking for is either fail of 1943 or up here. So it's like a zone up here, 1950, 1954, and watching very carefully that quarterly pivot at 1843. So 1850, 1854, and that quarterly pivot 1843. Now tomorrow's main resistance, it's here, which is 1825, 1831. With the market, if the market gaps down, continue to gap down, when it push through here, this is going to be very important. So let's say it gaps down here, this is going to be the key resistance on the day. Needs to break and hold for, so we can test those high over there. So Amazon always has big range. You just need to grab at those extremes to avoid being hit in the minimals. So Roku, one of my favorite. We have earnings this week, which is Wednesday after market close. This is going to be very interesting. So we went below the 50-day moving average, and this 101.11 has been my key level for a long time. We're probably going to retest this Monday. For us to see a run into earnings, we need to stay above this. If we don't stay above this 101.11, 101.37, we're gonna most likely have a sell into earnings situation, just like we predicted with Netflix. If we can't hold above this, sell into earnings. Maybe get at 96.11. That would be very nice. I would not be upset about that. We have a little 98.28 in between. Really want to mark that one right here. Can actually have a little supply and demand zone. Shortham is probably correct me if I'm wrong, but we have a little supply and demand zone around here. So yeah, we need to hold above this for a run into earnings. Below, we're probably going to retest those lower levels. Sell into earnings. And then have that reset that we talk about on the Walmart earnings. Now, if we break below this, that's going to be all bad, like all bad. I'm going to probably retest those 80s. 90, 80s level here. Yeah, this is a very important 96, 11, 98, all this here. So that's something to keep an eye on it. We have our key levels to watch, and we're gonna act on it. Break above, long, break below, short. Simple as that. Stop above it, short, stop below it. Okay, let me know if you guys have any tickers you want to check. I am almost about to be done with the ones I have been requested before. What was that stock? Check the CVRS. Okay, I'll check that right after BYND. So BYND is fighting. I have to make it very big like this so you can see it's a very small little zone I have. It's fighting against this. So are we gonna hold and push to 184? Or are we going to go under? This is an interesting situation. The main weekly and the main monthly, they're both at 194.33 this week. Is this going to be a bear flag, or this is going to be a breakout, right? That's something we're going to find out tomorrow for sure. If anybody was playing this trend line, so that's something to keep an eye on it as well. Let me do that again. Either can be here. That's the thing about trend lines that I don't like. It is a subjective thing, right? So if you have this as a trend line, then you're about to retest it. If you had this as a trend line, then you already broke and you back test, and now you see if you're gonna go and break out. That's why I play horizontal most of the times. So let's check. That's an interesting thing. That key zone just got a little bit wider. Why? Because we have our main pivots right there with it. So let's write that key zone for tomorrow, which is going to be 176.71, 178.02. The key resistance, I will not call this key resistance, but the next resistance is in 181, 182 pivot zone, which is matching exactly this lower high and this high here. High is awesome. I had to trademark that. But the key resistance is 184.81. That's the key resistance on BYND. If we break and hold above that, then we can try to contest that 194. So that's what I'll be looking for on BYND. This 168.66 is my main, my key support. This is the key support. It is where it hold before. So where I got that from, right? Let's go back, just so you guys see how I do things. All right, so this was BYND on that first run. We matched those pivot zones pretty well. So what is the level, where this level came from? We always talk about that main weekly pivot, right? We had this, we were pushing strongly since the 24th of June. This was the 27th, 28th of June. So we have been pushing for a couple of days. And on the previous day, what I said was watch for that 168.60, which was the main weekly zone, for a short setup. And what happened? We pushed through, couldn't hold, backtest, and then we went down. There we go. So that was the setup we took for short on that 168.66. Now, what happened was on that big sell-off, we bounced right from there. On the chat room, what I said was watch for that 168.66 pre-market. That is going to be the key support, right? What happened? We went here on this daily pivot, which formed that zone with this one, and we push back test, and we have that run near close that 184.81, which was our key resistance. So that's where that 168.66 came from. So right now we are right in the middle between that key resistance and key support. So we have range for both sides, both put and both call. What happened with BYND is that it's a lower float, and you can't hold your entire position on BYND. Just make sure you take your partials because it can squeeze very quickly to the upside and to the downside, and those gains can disappear very quickly, and you don't want that to happen. So if you're going to trade BYND, keep it tight and make sure you take partials. Now let me check CVRS. They have earnings on the 8th. The 8th is Thursday. So this Thursday they have earnings before market open. One second, just stretching a little bit. It was a rough day. Okay, so this is what we're looking right here. This 250 mark. Go back a little bit, analyze this pivots. You see the 250 right there as well. And you have this right here. And this one. So you have a lot of overhead on the stock. We just push below the yearly pivot, and we try to hold above it, but we found some sellers. The clock ran out, so you have to be careful with this. Let me see. So we have this 245, 250, which is our first zone, and then 257, 261. So we have an entire 20 cents, about 20 cents of resistance. And then you have the 270. So you have a lot of resistance to the upside. Right now we're bearish on the week, bullish on the day. So the week trumps the daily. But if you're looking for long, you really wanted to hold above this 235. So let's say we have a retest at 235. You want this to hold for you to go long and test this 250 first, take a partial, and then see if you can trail this back up. Now, if we do sell, look for this zone here. Look for this zone as a buy. But remember, we're going to be below a lot of resistance, and we couldn't hold those as support. So that's not a great sign. But this will be another shot you can give to the stock. If we break this, then most likely we're going to retest this 201, 204. So keep it tight. Let's see if we can get that reversal pattern, and then you trail on the way up. Maybe can get to $3. Who knows? The earnings is going to be something interesting. So if you have a play on it into earnings and you're looking to play earnings, make sure you lock most of it in a way that if we have bad earnings, it don't harm you that much. Let me check one thing here. Yeah, this 250, as you can see, this is a very strong zone, right? You have all these wicks here, these wicks, this here, which determine that big downside on it. You see, let me zoom in on that. This was 2016. So this is where we are right now. This is that key resistance we talk about. You saw weak, then we push, couldn't hold, we test. And then we had that strong downside on the stock. Right now, what happened is we denied here, pushed down, then we found strength to go up, retested at the same zone, push through, and now we are under. So you have to be careful for this not to be the repetition of the history, which we push through here, at that strong, then we are back at this, and then we can just do like this, right? So you have to be careful with that. Keep it tight. Just make sure you have your stop loss very closely in resistance and key support zones to avoid a big a big down move on your position. And that's it. Just trail the bad boy up, right? This is the 4-hour chart. This also could be seen as a head and shoulders. Maybe we have that last push. If this is not this would not be considered shoulder to me, but many people will be saying this is a shoulder. And then be careful with this. If this happens, just make sure you take most of your profits around that area. Yeah, that would be it for this stock. Let me take a note. CVRS. Sure. So looking capital, where is your TNDM? Oh, it was green on the red day. That's interesting. It's all over. It does not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I'll give it some more time to it. Maybe if we can hold, I'm pretty sure you had a position on this, probably from down here. But if we have a retest around 64,480, 6480-ish area, we hold, maybe be a good spot to get another push. Just be careful because the markets are very wild right now. It's all about positioning yourself to succeed, right? You don't want to grab things in between. For example, let's say you grab something around here, right? There is no direction, there is no wave in there. Your pivots are all below. What you're looking for is to position yourself to be on the bottom or the top of the wave, right? And that's what we are trying to do. I know you grab it, I think it was around here. I'm not sure if we might have this marked here from analysis. And I think it took some profits. I don't remember when, but I remember it was around this area here. But it's a very good example that we don't want to get chopped out by all these up and down gaps, candles. We want to make sure we get on the extremes and then ride that wave up or down. Let me see. Grab around 60. Yep, see, perfect, perfect, perfect. That's how we do it. Great job. So we checked. Is there anything you guys want to check? I don't have, I think I am done. Well, let's check that Tesla, right? Okay, so BABA is approaching that yearly main pivot. So the key zone, support zone is going to be 158.02, 159.51. It has earnings coming on the 15th, so not this week, the next one. This is our key zone right there. So maybe we have a little bounce, so that can't bounce on this. I don't know. So, but keep an eye on this zone. Maybe have a $5 move or something. If we break below this, most likely we're gonna retest this 150 and then 146 zone right here. Yeah, this is also 153, 150, 150, 153. So keep an eye on this. It's below this moving average, but it doesn't have any direction. So we may do a rubber band on it. Maybe we can get a strong sell tomorrow into the zone. And then we can do something like this. So that's something to keep an eye on it. What was the thing I was gonna check? A shock. Wish I was watching this Friday. Perfect example. Push through, can hold, and then just go back down. I see that right here. So this here was the strong, the key resistance that we have been talking about. We just tested Friday, and we push through. We test this higher pivot, and we couldn't hold, giving us our most loved setup. So if we're short on this setup, let me show, push through, can't hold, and then go back down. Was this Friday or Thursday? Thursday. Yeah, that was just perfect. If you grab that short at 350, that thing went to 322. Not bad for a few hours overnight hold. So let's say you grab around 1 p.m. Next day at 10:50, you'll be going to the bank, cash your money. Oh man, I need to set up alerts on other software. TOS doesn't give me alerts all the time. Yeah, that was so nice. Oops, I think I zoomed in too much. So what we're looking for tomorrow. This is going to be definitely on my watch list tomorrow. I just love the range Shop has. You guys know what I'm going to be looking for, but I'll have to say it. I'm going to be looking for a retest of that strong resistance. Right here. I'm even going to make it a little bigger just because of this monthly pivot. So I'm going to be watching for a push into this zone. If we can't hold it, give that same setup, go and grab puts or short the stock. And first partial at 331. If we gap down, what I'm going to be looking for is going to be a push into this zone. Can't hold and then back down. So this is the main zone for tomorrow and the week. And this is the key resistance. The support we'll be looking at is going to be this 320. And then this is the last line of defense right here. It's going to be our last line of defense. 311.44, 314.65. The 50 dailies at 309, so it's a long way to go. The stock has been overextended for quite some time. See all that? It has been pushing since the 100 teens. So it almost doubled, actually doubled the price of the stock without actually a very meaningful pullback, right? So that's something we're going to be watching. Maybe a very nice swing trade, maybe to this 289 this area. That would be nice, right? So I'll keep an eye on this. It had it had earnings, nice. So they bid on earnings. Yeah, but didn't hold. So you have to be careful with that too. I didn't read, let's see if we can get the guidance real quick. Strong Q2 earnings. Got upgrades. Oh, be careful. Let's be careful. Yeah, so I have a lot of upgrades and bid earnings. So maybe we're gonna scratch that short setup. But it's still a short setup until it breaks above this. The thing is that sometimes the earnings are already baked in on that big run. So we'll keep it technical. If you're looking for a deep buy, I'll be most likely watching these lower levels here. If you gap up, then this has to hold. So that's what you're going to looking for. If you're looking for a long based on the catalyst, look for long here and look for long here. If you take your long here, partials around here and see if you can push more. The daily pivot that's 365. That's about 20 bucks from the resistance. If we hold around here, you have to watch this 319. Let's make it wider. So if we hold this, just watch for this one, partial here, and see if we can push. And last one I'm gonna check is gonna be Tesla. Unless you guys have anything else you want me to check. Yeah, Tesla bounced right off that zone we had. That was very nice. Reject the pivot, came back down, retest and reject this pivot, came back down, came below the quarterly pivot, is trying to hold above it. Okay, so the key resistance for tomorrow is going to be here. The 350, 235.68, 236.27. So we have a lot of key supports, but the main day is going to be the 233 we can actually, let's do like this. So this is going to be the key support on Tesla 232.21, 233.32. We have that in between level of 234.31 to keep an eye on it. If you're long, what do you want to do? Break and hold, go long, dip and hold, go long. So many resistance on Tesla. He had a very nice close. So that's it for today. I'm gonna be posting the video on YouTube. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting the link in the chat room. We're probably gonna start a separate mentoring group where we're gonna do this every day. So keep an eye on that. That's gonna be something extra from the chat room. I'll keep you tuned. I'll post it in the chat, more information once I have it. I'm really glad everybody joined. 12 Matt, your first time. I'm really glad that you joined. I hope to see you every week. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend and count your blessing, guys. So many crazy around the world. Just make sure you're blessed for everything you have, all the families and friends. Please enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'm waiting for you tomorrow to trade live at 7 a.m. Take care.